Hey guys, what's up? It's the Snake Dude 1814 here, and if you can't already tell by today's video title, it's going to be my top 5 care tips when keeping corn snakes as pets. So I've kept corn snakes now for 6 years, and I know that's not a lot by means of hurt keeping. However, considering that out of my snake experience, having them as a personal pet, I definitely say when it comes to corn snakes, I've mastered their care. And I figured I'd give you my top 5 tips when keeping them, so if any of you guys want to own a corn snake at home, you can take advice from me. So for tip number 1 when keeping corn snakes, I would definitely say providing them with a large habitat is a must. And now, if you're a breeder, I understand you need rack systems to keep a large surplus of animals, but I figured this tip is more for the average person who wants 1, maybe 2 corn snakes as a pet. So of course, as you can see, this is my 40-gallon breeder setup for Hash, my male Okatee corn snake. His brother Vegas actually lives in a 55-gallon because he's a little bit bigger. And as you can see, even for a 3-foot tank, it gives him plenty of room to stretch out, and it even goes 18 inches deep, so the diagonal space is perfect, and Hash uses every inch of it. Of course, though, he's busy doing other things and climbing on top of my little shelf by my piranha poster. He's just chilling out. I know the lighting's pretty bad. It's a little bit dark in this corner of the room. But, yeah, when it comes to tips, I definitely say providing corn snakes with a large habitat is a must. As for tip number 2 when keeping corn snakes, despite being rat snakes, and they do love to burrow, hence why I like to give both of my corn snakes a nice thick layer of aspen to dig in, they also do enjoy climbing space. So here, as I said earlier, this is Vegas, my other corn snake. This is his 55-gallon habitat, so it is 2 feet tall, and as you can see, I provide him lots of branches and areas for him to climb. Remember though, if you cannot afford an elaborate setup like this, even providing something like a tall hide box for them to coil up on and climb over, or a half log, works perfectly for them. So even if you're on a little bit of a budget, it's never too late to try and afford climbing space for your corn snake. Tip number 3, in my opinion, is a little bit debatable depending on where you hear your sources, but from what I've read, try and keep your corn snakes relatively dry. So when I mean dry, I mean humidity-wise. Really, for my corn snakes, I try to not let their humidity go above 60%. Instead, what I do is I provide something like this Zoom Ed Repti shelter here, which is filled with damp moss. So if they want access to high humidity, they can get it in there. And the reason overall is quite simple. You know, if you have a damp, moist substrate and the snake is slithering all over it, you can just risk the, possibilities of scale rot and other diseases, not to mention respiratory infections. So really, my rule of thumb is to keep the humidity between 40 and 60%. I believe if you keep them too high on humidity, it can really give them scale rot. And I mean, if you think about it, they're from more of a dry, not subtropical, but grassy area. Yes, there are the Okatee localities, which are from the Everglades in Florida. However, I feel that definitely, when you're keeping them overall, you want to keep them relatively dry. Hash is saying hello. He's very inquisitive today, aren't you, Mr. Hash? Good boy. It's hard to keep up with you. Quit moving. Let's go on to tip number 4. So for tip number 4, and again, this is quite debatable. However, I feel if you're keeping corn snakes just as pets, you're not breeding them and keeping them in rack systems, I love providing basking spots for them. So as you can see, Hash here, he has a 60-watt, just standard incandescent bulb right over his basket, and he loves to sit under it. Usually at night, he'll sleep on top of there, heat up in the morning from this bulb, and then resume to his daily activities. Vegas will also often do the same. I will see him coil up right on top there. And again, he has a 100-watt day bulb and a 100-watt ceramic heat emitter, which is controlled by a thermostat, so that is not on all the time. So there you go, it is not super hot up there. And I'll quickly post some images of them basking, but really I think they benefit a lot from exposure to a natural setting of how they would get their heat from the wild. So here you can quickly see some images I uploaded from my camera, and this just shows the two snakes basking. I would definitely say Hash basks way more out of the two of them, and as you can clearly tell, I use it as my YouTube profile. And finally, as tip number 5, I would highly recommend giving corn snakes a deep layer of substrate. Now, I sort of mentioned this earlier when I was talking about giving them climbing opportunities. However, definitely when they're not climbing, they do like to burrow. Hash loves to kick all of his bedding and pile it up along that little rim of his tank. So I will show you guys. All along the rim, it is dug out. And, I mean, that just shows you why giving them a nice thick layer of substrate lets them play around. And it gives you guys a really nice, happy, healthy corn snake. Okay guys, so that wraps up our video. I hope I didn't discourage anyone from getting a pet corn snake. Hopefully, if anything, I encouraged you guys to get one. Otherwise though, leave a like if you liked the video. Comment below if you want to see anything else. I'm always happy to film video requests for you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We are almost at 430 subs, I believe, so if we can make it to 500 by the end of the month, that would be amazing. Otherwise, really any updates I should say, my friend and I who have the gecko breeding project, baby crested geckos are for sale. I will leave the email down below, so if you want, send a notice to that email and we can ship anywhere in the continental United States. So we can't ship to Alaska or Hawaii, and all my viewers in the UK, or I think I've got some viewers in Australia too, which is kind of cool. I can't ship crested geckos to you guys, but I mean, they're crested geckos, it's not that big of a deal. Otherwise though, I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.